I was in a relationship one time, and I don't know if this has happened to anybody else. It never happened to me in this way. Uh, Maybe about 6 to 8 months, his personality started changing, and then next thing you know, maybe like a year and a half in, especially, like all of a sudden, I didn't know who this person was at all, and then it was a they that I didn't know. And growing up, my grandma always talked to me about lockjaw. Like this was something funny that it's just something I remember saying. Like you better be careful, you get lockjaw. Like, and it has to do and like everybody gets a tetanus shot usually when you're growing up. Like you run around barefoot. If you get tetanus, it's technically like this kind of like colloquial. No, it can be lockjaw. But it's kind of where usually people think that you die from it, but I'm curious. I don't know if everybody dies from it. But definitely, this was like the weirdest thing I ever came in contact with. I was like, this, these people. Well, oh God, it's not a I can't tell if it's one person or they. Um, this person that I'm in a relationship with, all of a sudden he doesn't talk anymore. And when he does talk, it's like he's talking to somebody else that's not there. He would ask me he would like try to get me to work with him on projects and then try to jog my memory and be like, do you remember when we talked about this before? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, like we talked about this already and we're doing this and we're that, like as if we were partners. And I'm like, I've never heard of this idea. Like you've never talked to me before. And it gets to a point where it can get really scary. At one point in the relationship, the person wouldn't talk to me at all. Like he told me, I tried to get him to write a letter. Like I was like, if we could communicate, like I write you a letter and maybe you could just write me back and we can talk about our relationship and stuff. And he told me he didn't speak English. And I was like, I don't speak English. He's like, well, I wasn't really good at English in school. But not to be funny, this situation can get worse and worse and worse, especially when people are talking to people who aren't there in front of your face or around you and talking about things that you don't know about, you never heard anything before. And then when you ask them a question, they can't respond to you. And then when they start getting violent, it's very hard for someone who doesn't understand the situation at all to understand how to react. The first thing you want to do is run away. You might call the cops. You might be scared to call the police, especially if you're very dependent. And that's why I found myself in the situation of I was very dependent on the person I lived with. I wasn't really allowed to work or go out much, especially when things started getting crazy. So I'm like, if I call the police, he's going to go to jail, and I'm not going to have anybody to take care of us, and this and that. But you got to grow out of those things. I have to say that for myself. There's been so many instances where I've been like, I can't believe I didn't call the police, like in that moment. Because like one of the last posts I talked about, when you're trying to get like order protection, it's really hard to get it if you don't have really like a police report. You don't have like the police that came out like while you're getting your butt kicked. And it's really sad. It's really hard to prove it, and a lot of times they'll just tell you to go home and suck it up, and it's not really fair. I have a son. His name's Micaiah. I've posted lots of stuff about him, especially some of his music. Some of his music to me, I wanted to post it because I think that I want to do everything I can to support him and to try to understand what he's going through. My GoFundMe is not posted on the link on my account because I can't post yet because I don't have 1,000 followers. It's really interesting some of the things he's saying. Definitely, I'm partially disabled. I wear hearing aids. I'm hearing impaired. I have a traumatic brain injury, and I've got like back and neck injuries. I was in the hospital for 10 days and came out like this. I do my best, but I work full time, but it's limited, like 30 hours. It's not super full time, but as much as I can. And we struggle a lot, and there's a lot of things I want to do for him. So if you're interested, check it out. I'll try to post more. I'm on YouTube, and I post every day, just telling you a little bit about our story, kind of random things. It's really nice weather out here, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off. But thanks.